When it comes to creating organic content that converts, majority of you guys want this to happen way quicker than it actually is going to happen. So many brands, entrepreneurs, and individuals do not have a practical plan. And what I mean by that is the exact steps to consistently make this happen. When I first started creating content, this is something that I thought you could just create viral content over and over and over. And by working on a variety of different projects with Monster Energy, Logan Paul, Machine Gun Kelly, to name a few, what I've learned time and time again is that you definitely can generate virality over and over and over again. However, there's one thing that is commonly missed when you're pushing for an outcome, which is almost like hitting a home run. You're not gonna hit a home run every time you step up to bat. And if you could do that, you'd be the highest played baseball player that ever existed, because you would just be able to consistently hit home runs. But the thing with content, it's about at-bats, right? It's about striking out sometimes. It's about not performing. It's about looking at the post, learning from it, and being able to grow and develop. So when it comes to creating content that converts, generates millions of views, drives sales for your brands, has people lining up outside of the door like Nectar Hard Seltzer, it does not happen for everyone. You can be creating organic for months and months on end, even years on end, and still be creating content that does not convert. So that's one misconception, is that anyone can do it. The people that do it best have a few things in common. Number one, have a clear understanding of who their audience is. They know exactly what their unique selling point is. Okay, unique selling point is what is it that positions you to be completely different than a competitor. If you don't have those two things identified, it's really like casting a really wide net and you're speaking to no one. Because what the algorithm is looking to do is pair you with people that are able to relate to the content, are able to consume it, and ultimately stay on the platform. That's your job as a creator when it comes to creating content that convert, is keeping the viewer on the platform. And you do this by watch time, retention, making sure that they stay plugged in, which most people that are creating content do not care about this. They don't even pay attention to it. They post a video, they let the video go, and then they say, it did 1,000 views, I'm shadow banned. When in reality, what that means, that 1,000 views is indicating is that something is wrong in your creation process, whether it's the ideation process, the filming process, or the editing process. And it's important to understand that in the strategy and ideation, that's really where you identify who are you speaking to? Who is this content for? What type of content is it? Is this educational based content? Is this content that's more entertainment based? Is this aspirational content? That's gonna happen in your strategy and ideation session. In your filming, that's where you have to have some sort of uniqueness, whether it's your personality, whether it's the lighting, whether it's the set that you're on. That's really what's gonna allow you to stand out when it comes to a filming standpoint. And the key thing to remember here is so many people are talking about hooks, they're talking about catching attention and talking really fast. But what's more important than that, and one common mistake that the majority of people are making nowadays, is they are creating content like this. And the problem with this type of content is that it's what everyone else is doing, and it feels like an ad. It doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like we're just having a conversation. A common mistake and myth is that you should just talk really fast. And the faster that you talk, the more people are gonna watch the video and the more views you're gonna get. And that is just incorrect. What it really comes down to is your tonality, comes down to why you're creating the content, who you're creating the content for, and keeping that in mind. Another common mistake that I see over and over and over is when something is not working, you just quit. You just leave it. You don't ever try to fix it, and you just switch to something else because another brand is doing it. And this is really where it comes down to shiny object syndrome. Yes, there's trends. Yes, social media is consistently innovating and adapting and changing, and you do need to be adaptable. But the one thing to keep in mind is, what is your brand going to stand out for when it comes to organic content, when it comes to creating content that you are known for? A lot of these brands, and Nike, for example, they're not just shoving their product in your face, right? They're telling a story. They have different content types. They're taking photos, they're taking videos, they're doing UGC style content. And it's not just the Nike shoe right here. Instead, what they're doing is they understand exactly who they want to buy their shoe, and they're thinking from that position in terms of what type of content is that individual consuming, and how can we position the product to where that individual can see themselves wearing it, which in return allows them to go buy the product. But when it comes to TikTok, when it comes to short form platforms, what we have to keep in mind is that these platforms were created to keep people entertained. Nectar's Hard Seltzer has done a phenomenal job of this. I've seen them go from having a few people show up to their drops to having hundreds of people lined outside of their store ready to buy their product. And it has solely came from TikTok. They have a scalable system. They have repeatable content types. And when we've worked on this project with them, we've seen the growth of having this community and having these content types. When you're creating different content types, it's going to allow you to have different levers to pull, right? If I post a vlog, for example, and then the next video I post a talking head video, and then the next video I post a video with trending audio and B-roll, I'm getting 3 different categories of content, and the feedback, the views, the interactions, the comments, the likes, these are all indicators of what is performing and what is not performing well. So if you only have one content type, you're only getting feedback on one specific content lever. And if you have other levers, like the examples I just give, you're getting feedback much, much quicker. And by getting this feedback quicker, you're able to adapt, improve, and ultimately create content that's going to be tailored to the viewer at a faster rate, in return keeping them on the product, which you're going to be rewarded for, and the algorithm's going to push your content even more. The most common mistake I see when it comes to creating organic content that converts is the fact that everyone wants this to happen tomorrow. This 100% can happen. In the last 30 days, we've had a client generate over 12 million views and gain 100,000 followers. And that's due to him having a consistent process and a system, and ultimately improving with each type of content he's creating. Majority of you guys want to make one video, have it go viral, and not do anything else. And the issue with this is that when you generate millions of views and you don't have a system to back it up, you're ultimately on a peak and you have no clue how to get down, and you have no clue how to get to the next peak. And the reason why this is very, very dangerous is because when you generate all of this attention, this is prime time. This is where you need to capitalize. You need to have a process. You need to have a way of consistently uploading content. A prime example for me is I generated multiple millions of views. I did not have a strategy in place. I did not have content types, and I definitely did not know how to speak to camera the way I'm speaking to camera, which in return led me to doing absolutely nothing, generating millions of views and only making a few $100s. So I've gone viral multiple times, and I'm here to tell you that going viral in itself will not change your business. What will change your business and drive dollars is creating a system around going viral, having repeatable content types, being able to adapt with trends, being able to adapt with what's actually going on, and having a team in place to actually create content that converts, that does not just rely solely on you. So this can happen overnight, but it comes with implementing the proper structure. You cannot do it alone. When you look at a Mr. Beast, when you look at a Logan Paul, when you look at some of these top brands, they have massive teams surrounding them. And that is why they have a system that is able to consistently put the output out that is needed to grow the business. So when you're first looking to create content consistently, it's like going to the gym. If you go into the gym and you say, I'm gonna do 1,000 pull-ups today, I would bet $1,000 that you will not be in the gym tomorrow doing 100 pull-ups. And the reason being is that your intensity is so high that it does not allow for consistency. So a lot of people are, I'm gonna create content, I'm gonna post 3-4 times a day, and then you post 3 to 4 times a day, and then the next day you're like, I'm so burnt out, I have no clue what to do, right? So to avoid this, it's about having consistency. One day after another, compounded over time, is gonna get the results that you're looking for, and that's what they call an overnight success.